This video is going to show you how to create an assembly of your puzzle parts in your puzzle document. You're going to end up with a puzzle assembly that looks similar to this, where you have all your parts. You should take and color code your pieces, or at least change the colors. You don't have to necessarily use the colors that I use. You use whatever you want. It makes it easier to see what it is. You will need to have this for later on down the road when we have to do engineering drawings of your assembly, and when we do when we do packaging, you're going to want pictures of your assembled cube. Creating an assembly is actually pretty straightforward. When you have a new document, there's automatically an assembly tab that is created with that new document. So you're going to have your pieces along the bottom in different tabs, and then you're going to have an assembly one that's empty and available. So I've already used that, so I'm actually using the assembly 2 tab. So it's going to look like this. You'll see that the toolbar is different up here. Onshape uses a slightly different method of assembling than most other modelers, but it seems to work pretty well. These are the mating constraints that we have available to us. In this case, we're really only going to use this planar mate tool. That's the only one that we have to worry about. The rest of these tools we're not going to get into right now. Later on, we will possibly get into some projects that you'll use some of these, but for now we're going to concentrate just on a simple assembly. Once you're in here, the first thing we need to do is insert your puzzle pieces. So we're going to go up to the insert button and we click on that, and all of your parts will show up here on your insert puzzle down or puzzle piece. So I'm going to pick my black part as my first one. It's a good idea to pick the first part carefully. You want to make sure that it's the part that you naturally would pick when you assemble your puzzle. So you pick the black part and it will bring it in, and you just click once. It doesn't really matter where you put it. The one drawback to the black part is that it is difficult to see on screen, but you'll see that it really won't matter. Then you pick a blue piece, or my blue piece, and I'm just going to zoom out some, and I'm going to move my parts so that they're away from each other. I'm going to do the green piece and bring it over here. Purple part, it's going to go over here, and then the red piece will go over here. Once I've inserted all of my pieces, then I come up here and I can hit OK. They're all in here. You'll see that you can rotate around and you can see where they are in relationship to one another, and you don't have to worry too much about that. I'm going to go back to the standard view. We're going to actually assemble these so that they are assembled just like they would be on the actual physical puzzle. Before we get going and putting in any mates, what we have to do is we need to take one of our pieces and we need to fix it. By fixing it, it's not going to randomly move around on us later on down the road, and you may not realize how important that is until you get 4 of your 5 puzzle pieces put together, and then you go to place the 5th and it moves something that you don't expect to move. And it's happened to everybody that's done a model. If you forget to fix your piece, you will find out usually at the most inopportune time. So to do that, we're going to right click on one of the parts, and we're going to come up here to where it says fix. So the black part is usually the part that I start with, so I've fixed it, and you'll see that there's now a constraint next to part number 1, which is the black part. If you click on these others, it'll highlight which one is which if you need to see one or the other. You can also hide them by turning off the eye, and that allows you to hide them from the assembly in case they're in the way or something along those lines. Now for my puzzle, I know that the way that I build it, I've done this a number of times obviously, and the red piece here, it curls around the black piece there, and I know that this corner right here matches up with this corner right here. So when I go to create my constraint, I need to make sure that this surface is actually flush with this surface, and this surface here is flush with that surface. And so that's an important thing to know. You kind of need to know what how your puzzle is going to go together. It's very helpful if you have your physical puzzle with you, and then you can build it at the same time. So we're going to go up to the planar mate. I'm going to click on that, and the first thing it wants to know is what your first component connectors are. And the way Onshape works, I'm going to hover over that, you can see that it has individual dots along the that surface. So it has this L-shaped surface, it has dots, then these are on corners and on midpoints between two pieces, and then it has the little circle here, and the circle kind of gives you an indication of whether that surface is a horizontal, vertical, or flat surface. Okay, and that's an important thing to know. Now I'm going to be using this corner right here because I know it corresponds with this corner over here on this part. So I'm actually going to come in here. You can see it moves. So now my flat circle is actually 90 degrees to where it used to be. So I'm going to hover up here. I'm going to get off and I'm going to come back onto the piece. And I'm going to come over to this spot right here. And I'm going to click on that center part, that center dot. And I'm going to make sure that the circle is lined up with this surface, because I know that that surface happens to be this dot, and I'm going to zoom in a little here, this surface and that dot. So I'm going to click on that, and when I click those two, you'll see that it moved those 2 points together. Now it's not correctly oriented because you can see I've got the red piece going into the black piece. So what I can do is I can use these two tools here. I can flip the axis and it flips it up or down, and actually this shape is in the correct orientation because this does go up, but it actually is going to be up over here. But I can use this to reorient the secondary axis, and this is where I'm going to rotate it, and you're going to see that it's rotating through, and you say, well, wait a minute, it's not rotating quite right. And I'm like, you're right, it's not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the combination of both, and I'm going to flip that, and this is how it is actually supposed to be oriented. So you have to use both buttons, and you're going to have to mess around with it a little bit to make sure that it gets in the correct orientation. So that is the correct orientation. They are locked together now. So I'm going to hit OK. My next piece that I put in is actually this blue piece, and I'm going to put the blue piece in this little piece sticks down here, and then it wraps around over here. So you kind of, again, you have to think about it. You have to see how it's going to go together, and it's helpful again to have your finished part in front of you, your finished physical puzzle in front of you, because you can pick up that piece, you can look at it, and then you can figure out, well, how the orientation that is on the screen, how is it supposed to fit on my piece on the actual puzzle. Okay, so I happen to know that I want a specific orientation, and I need this edge here, the center of this edge here needs to be on the center of that edge there. And so I am going to use, zoom over a little bit, I actually want, let's see here, I want this surface, and I don't want it to be oriented like that, I want it oriented like this. I want this guy, that surface there, to be oriented along that surface there. And so then again, it gets those 2 points connected, and I'm going to take and I'm going to start rotating until I get the orientation that I want, which happens to be right here. Okay, so that's how those two pieces go together. All right. Same thing happens with the purple piece. In this case, the purple piece is going to go along, and the 2 cube, this surface here, will actually go right here. Now, if I hover over this, I know that the center of that piece is supposed to be in the center of this, but you see there's no dot in that center. So I have to also look at, well, what is going to work? Well, that spot will work if I choose the correct orientation over here, and I don't want it vertical, I want it to be on that, so I can do that, and then I can flip my axis, and then I can rotate things around, and if we look at it and say okay, that's where that one goes. Okay, and then my last one is the green piece. Obviously it connects around the corner here. Now this inner corner needs to be centered on here, but there isn't a dot there, there's no connection point there, so I have to start looking at where can I connect. Well, I can connect with this corner here, and I have to look at how my piece is oriented, and so it really wouldn't work on that side. We're going to have it work over here, so we're going to pick this upper corner, and we're going to pick, and this might take a little bit, you might have to fiddle with these a little bit. We're going to take that upper corner. Now, if you come across and you find that, hey, this isn't working, this is the wrong spot, okay, you can see that, well, maybe I can get this to work. Nope, no matter what I do, it's not the right spot. I didn't pick the right spot. So I can come over here and I can say, well, I want to get rid of this second spot. And so I've basically unselected this surface. I'm going to rotate around, and I'm going to select this dot here, if I can get it to reset, there we go, I want to be on that one. And I'm going to move this out of the way. So again, I'm going to rotate around. Oh, it chose that spot. So we're going to connect both of those. We're going to just disconnect both of these. So I'm going to try this again. I'm going to say I'm going to do this outer corner with, let's get that outer corner. Okay, oh, come on, there we go. Click those two. There we go, and I can rotate. And that's not the right direction, so we're going to flip it this way. And then we're going to rotate. And nope, it's still not the right one. So we're going to cancel that. And we're going to come in here and we're going to say, okay, well, if I'm having trouble with that one, maybe I can figure out a different way to do it. Well, I think this, let's go back to my planar mate. I can say this dot here should line up with that dot there. So I'm going to click on those two. And then let's rotate and see if we get it in the right spot. That's the wrong direction, so we'll try it this way. And then we'll rotate around. Looks like we're still not quite in the right spot. Okay, try it again. Okay, do that, and we'll do that. Okay, rotate. Nope, that's the wrong direction. Rotate here. There we go, finally got it. Okay, and you can see it might take a few minutes to go through the different combinations and rotations. It is easier if you have your physical puzzle in front of you, because then you might be able to line up one edge on the screen with what end you have in your hand and place those parts together. But eventually you're going to end up with your puzzle, and we'll go through. I'm going to put it on trimetric view, and you can see there's my finished piece. Now, one of the nice things is you want to try to find a view that shows all 5 of your pieces. So like this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. When we do our puzzle packaging, you want to make sure that you can see all 5 pieces, so that way when we have that on the picture on your puzzle, on your packaging, you can actually see that it has 5 pieces. So that's how you do basic assembly. It's just a little bit of hit and miss. It's going to take you a little bit of time, and that's the end.